here. I was stopping with a friend of mine, and thieves broke into an old age pensioner's place next door to him, and they rammed a vacuum cleaner up his backside. And I rang up the hospital to find out how he was, and the nurse said he was picking up.
Good morning everyone, how you doing? It's Paul here from Unusual Things. Now this morning we are in Milltown Cemetery in Belfast, Northern Ireland, and we've come to find the final resting place of that legendary comic Frank Carson. Do you remember him? So I tell him. I can't do the accent so I won't. But what a great comedian he was. I'll tell you all about his life real soon, but don't forget, if you like the video today, make sure you give it a thumbs up if you haven't done so already. Hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that notifications bell, and let me know your stories on Frank Carson, and tell me all your comments about him. Did you used to watch him on TV and the cabaret performances and things like that? I loved him. I thought he was very, very funny. So I'll tell you a little bit more information about Frank Carson right now. Hugh Francis Carson KSG, 6th of November 1926 to the 22nd of February 2012, was a Northern Irish comedian and actor from Belfast. He was best known for being a regular face on television for many years from the 1970s onwards. Appearing in series such as the Comedians and Tiswas, his trademark line was, "It's the way I tell them." Carson was one of 6 children born to a working-class Catholic family from the inner city Belfast. He attended St Patrick's Elementary School. The family later moved to 94 Corporation Street in the Little Italy area close to Sailortown. Carson worked as an electrician and later a plasterer in the building trade. His family were of Italian descent, with his grandmother hailing from Sicily. In his early days, Carson was a choir boy at St Patrick's Catholic Church on Donegal Street. Carson spent 3 years in the British Army's Parachute Regiment, mainly in the Middle East, in the late 1940s. During his service, he shot dead an armed terrorist. He himself was shot in the leg and on another occasion narrowly escaped death when a bomb went off outside a cinema. The 7 RAF men he was with were all killed. He also assisted with the clear-up after the King David Hotel bombing in Jerusalem and made 40 parachute descents. Carson became a popular performer on Irish television before moving to England to work as a stand-up club comedian. He had success on the long-running television music hall revival show The Good Old Days. He then went on to win the peak viewing national favourite talent show Opportunity Knocks, presented by Hugh Green. He was one of the more prominent acts on the Comedians, alongside the likes of Charlie Williams, Bernard Manning, Mike Reid and Jim Bowen. The show consisted of 30 minutes of non-stop stand-up comedy from several comedians. Granada's television, The Comedians led to similar shows such as the Wheel Tappers and Shunters Social Club, which was an attempt to bring the Northern English Working Man's Club show to television. Carson was a regular on television for a number of years after The Comedians, whilst also working as a stage entertainer and appearing before the royal family in shows. In 1975, he took the part of Paddy O'Brien, described as an Irish Republican landlord and coalman, in The Melting Pot, a sitcom written by Spike Milligan and Neil Shand, which was cancelled by the BBC after just 1 episode had been broadcast. He was the subject of This Is Your Life in 1985 when he was surprised by Eamon Andrews at Heathrow Airport after the two had flown over together from Dublin. When he had a heart surgery in 1976, it was suggested that he was meant to retire. However, he continued working and became a regular on the ATV children's series Tiswas. He began making acting appearances on television as well as 2 cinema films in the 1990s. In 1998, he was the opening act for Mary Black's musical concert at the English Village in Dubai. Carson was still working, making live appearances in cabaret, pantomime and the summer season throughout the UK. He spent much of his time helping the needy, which included raising £130,000 for the Royal Victoria Hospital Children's Cancer Ward in 1986. A theft from Carson's dressing room in Blackpool in 1995 caused ill feeling between entertainers Jim Davidson and Linda Nolan, and this was revived in 2014 during an episode of Celebrity Big Brother. On the 2nd of September 2009, aged 82, Carson returned to the stage, appearing at the North Pier Theatre midweek season run of the Comedians in Blackpool, where he lived. On the 30th of October 2009, he appeared at the Velvet Hall in Paphos, Cyprus. A routine hernia operation left Carson, who had a heart pacemaker, seriously ill, and he underwent a knee replacement operation in July 2009. Subsequent x-rays 14 days after being discharged from hospital showed that he had a previously undetected cracked rib, which may have been the cause of the hernia. In August 2011, Carson had an operation to remove a malignant tumour from his stomach. He died on the 22nd of February 2012, aged 85, at his Blackpool home. He was survived by his wife, Ruth, whom he married on the 21st of January 1950 and who died in 2015, aged 87. His daughter, Magella, and his sons, Tony and Aidan, in addition to numerous grandchildren and great-grandchildren. His funeral was held on the 3rd of March 2012 at St Patrick's Church, Donegal Street, Belfast, where he had married his wife Ruth over 60 years earlier. Mourners included Stan Boardman, Dennis Taylor, Eamon Holmes, Lenny Henry, Dana, Roy Walker, and a large crowd of fans. Carson was a Roman Catholic. In 1987, his dedication to charity was recognised by the Catholic Church when he was awarded a papal knighthood of the Order of St Gregory by Pope John Paul II. Although he stayed out of Northern Irish politics, he openly supported UKIP in later years. He lived in Leighton, Blackpool, where he attended Blackpool FC matches at Bloomfield Road. He was a director of Staffordshire Football Club, Chasetown FC, and in the 1970s and 1980s he was appointed a director and vice president of Newport County Football Club in South Wales to raise the profile of the club. In 2009, Carson took part in the TV show Cash in the Celebrity Attic to raise money for a local hospice, raising over £900 in the process. He lived for many years in Balbriggan in the north of County Dublin and served 2 terms as mayor of the town.
Now, one of the easiest things to do is to make people laugh. But the boys in the studio and the girls have said, I find it impossible to make them laugh. So I'm going to start inside 30 seconds. I shall make them all laugh their selection box off. Starting off with my average laugh. There's nothing like a Dave. That's Mullingan. Hey, Frankie. Mick-naggity, cameron, double jibber, my nick-naggity.
So I've been having a good look around, and do you know what? I think I found. Wow. Frank Carson KSG, 1926 to 2012. It's a cracker. That's the way I tell them. Ruth Carson, 1927 to 2015. It's quieter down here now. God help them up there. So, it's a massive thank you to Frank Carson, comedy genius throughout the years, such a great guy, and will always, forever, be remembered. Today we have the final resting place of Frank Carson in this windy Belfast cool afternoon. Thank you as always for joining. Don't forget to leave your comments down below. If you like the video today, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free, and hit that notification bell. And I will see you all on the next one. So yeah, tell Hi everyone, just a quick message to let you know that we felt that this video was a little bit rushed today. The reason being is that there was a funeral cortege that started to turn up sort of halfway through filming. Now it was on the other side of the cemetery, so we weren't close to it, but there was a lot of people around and we wanted to respectfully obviously get the filming done and withdraw from the cemetery as quickly as we could. Also, just to let you guys know, today is the day of using the new camera which I've purchased. So I hope you notice the difference as it's filmed in 4K. Thank you.